Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Teresa and I'm from the Yarn Shop around the corner. I hope you're having a great day and I'm excited to bring to you the hat tutorial video. And so today we're just going to get right in it. We're going to talk about and do together, create together a little hat. And so I'm just going to get right into it. So the materials you're going to need are a piece of paper, scissors, your hook to go along with your yarn. And so that is pretty much all you're going to need today. In this, the whole thing about this project is it's customizable. And so the first thing you're going to do is get your squares and you're going to draw out the basic shape of a hat on a piece of paper. And then you're going to cut that out as I've done here. And so this is just that way you play with the paper around your block to see just how big it needs to be. If you've got it too small, if you need it too bigger, you can kind of play with it. And so that when you get to the yarn, you don't have to guess and take out your work as much. You can just start. And so that's what we're going to do. Basically, all the hats have this genuine shape. Some of them I made the brim longer. Some of them I made the top hat wider. Or I did this and then did a little curve at the top. But this is the basic shape that I went and made all of the hats from. And so I'm going to move this blanket. So I hope that you can see this quilt I chose has these blocks on it. I think you can see them. Let's see. I'll move it over just, okay, hopefully you can see this little blue square that I have here. And so I think it shows up a little bit better on camera. And so you can see this little hat. And so when you have the size of your squares, your solid granny squares, then it's easier to figure out the size of your hats. And so with this, I make these in two separate pieces, which means I do the brim, and then when I'm finished, you cut off the yarn, and then you start again where you want the basic body part of your hat to start. And so we're going to do that together because there's a little bit of I say there's a little bit of flexibility. There's flexibility in all of it. So the things to know are that when you put your chains in, your chain is going to grow. So I can't tell you a certain number of stitches, but it's really good to have your paper drawing in front of you when you do it, because this is all a trial and error. So the first thing you're going to do is a slip knot. Gosh, I'm rusty on doing anything, tutorials or anything. So a slip knot, there's so many ways to do them, but this is the way that I do it. You take the yarn, you wrap it around your fingers, wrap it around the back, look up through the front, and just grab that back one and pull up. Sometimes it's easier to mute a video tutorial and just watch what someone does than listen to them. So that's how I learned to do a slip knot. I just had to watch what they were doing. Okay, so what you're going to do is chain almost to the length of your paper. And to chain, you yarn over and pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. And the reason you're not going to have an exact many chains to do this first time is because a chain grows once you put your stitches into it. So it'll start like this, but then when you add your stitches, you're going to see your work will grow. And so what we want to do is have this to sort of measure by. So you have the paper to measure by the size of your square. And then now you're going to create your hat based on your paper product. And so what you want to do is you want to do a little and then lay it down. And what you want to do is go almost to the end. So because it is going to grow, you'll see it's going to grow as you go back and put your stitches in. And so I'm going to stop here on my tutorial here. I think that's plenty. And then the next thing you're going to do, this is twisted a little bit. There we go. The next thing you're going to do is go back, and all of this is single crochet back and forth, back and forth. That gives it the density, and that gives it some structure. And so I'll show you real quick how to single crochet. So single crochet is one, is how I always think about it. So you start with one loop on your hook, and so you're going to insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. I'll do a couple more with you. So you insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. And you're going to do this there's great tutorials on how to single crochet, but it is the stitch that I mean, there's so many stitches. If you wanted to do a moss stitch, that's a nice dense stitch, but you could do any stitch that you want for the brim of your hat. But I wanted to do, you want to give it something that allows it some density and to give it some structure and to be able to shape it when you apply it to your square. And so you're just going to do single crochets back and forth all across your row. So you're going to go here to the end, chain one, turn your work, and just go back and forth until you have the height of your brim. And I'll be back with you, and you'll see this is going to grow from this. As these stitches get in, it's going to increase in the width, and it's going to be the length we want. And I'll be back with you. Okay, so I finished my first row of single crochet, and I just wanted to jump on right back and show you what I mean by how it grows. So you see we have the length here now of the paper. So that's why you chain to almost the end, and then as you go back and you put your stitches in your chains, it will continue to grow. Now we're going to continue this until we build up our brim. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit with you here on camera. So we turn one, we chain one, and we turn, we flip it like a page in a book. Okay, and then you're going to just put a stitch right back there in that first one. And I'm so rusty at doing things on camera. It feels so foreign to me. So, but anyway, I love this yarn. I'm working with some cotton, and which is what I made the blanket out of. It just feels so nice and smooth in your hands. But you see how that works up just so pretty? And so on this, I'm probably going to do 3 rows just to sort of match my little template. And you do as many rows as you need to get the height of your brim that you want. I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll be back with you when I finish my brim. Okay, so as you can see, I finished my brim. Oh, isn't it beautiful? I just love how single crochet looks. But anyway, as you can see, that's pretty much the width that I want. And the height that I want. And so you're just using the paper as your template. And so you can create the height and just keep going back and forth until you get the height that you want. Okay, so at this point, you could, so as I'm going to explain to you why I didn't. So you could go turn your work. So you'd be on this side. And you could single crochet till you get here. And then you could start with your next height of stitches. You know, you could say, okay, a single crochet is short, half double crochet is a little bit bigger, double crochet is a nice height, and treble crochet is a really tall height. So you could start here and single crochet and then do a half double crochet and then start with your double crochet and go across. And I'll tell you why I didn't do that. Because when you get here and you turn your work, it's gonna be uneven. So it's gonna be a little bit higher on this side than it is on this side, which is fine if you're going to put a flower there or whatever. But as in the creative process, I wanted to be able to make sure I had I created a hat that looked like this as my base. And so with that, that meant that I cut my work. So you cut off your yarn over, pull it through, pull it tight. I turn mine over, set it here. Then you're going to go and attach it again. So slip knot, attach it again to your hook. And this time I knew I wanted to do I wanted to do double crochets. And so I just come over here. I like to go even. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go into the 5th one, that should leave me 4 as far as for my brim on both sides. So I wanted to be even on both sides. If you don't, then you just do it, start where works for you. But 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. I saw someone say this is the era of no more chains. Oh my goodness. Sorry. This is the era of no more chains, I heard another person say. But, we're just 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just doing what works for us. So I'm going to start here with a standing double crochet, which means I'm going to enter into just like I was already attached and doing a double crochet. And then I'm just going to continue doing double crochets right across till I get to my last 4. And then I'm going to turn and do exactly what I did on my brim. As I'm going to, let me first tell you how to do a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and with double I always think you start with 2. So you're going to do a single, you're only going to have 1. Double, you're going to always start with 2. So you take 2, you take your yarn, you yarn over, you insert your hook, you yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Start with 2, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And like I say, 1, 2. I'm going to stop right here. So I'm trying to remind myself not to just keep going, because sometimes I get in the flow and forget what I'm doing. Last one. Then I'm going to go back and look at my pattern and make sure that I'm sort of liking what it looks like. And I do. And so now all you're going to do is just like you did on the brim, you're going to chain 2, turn your work. That'll count as your first stitch. See how it's lined up right there with that one? And then you're just going to go in the next one and go right across. And this is how you're going to make the basic construction of your hat. Now, if you want to start adding like a ribbing in it, then what you would do is, instead of just crocheting right across there, is you would crochet in the back loop only or the front loop only. So back loop is going to give you a little ridge. I'm right now just doing a basic form of the hat because I want you to have, I want you to have a tutorial. If you want to know how to make a hat, I want to make sure you know how to do it. And so with this, you're just going to build up your hat until you get the height that you want. And then you're going to cut off your yarn. It's that easy. It all starts with a piece of paper, a block, and then you just start chaining and creating. It really is this simple. All right. So there you go. I'm going to catch right back up with you when I finish my height of my hat. But that's all you're going to do to create the basic hat. I will say that when you get up to the curves and edges, I'll tell you how to do that when we get there. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so you can see I'm getting almost to the top of mine. I have the door open here in my little she shed, so I'm sorry, I don't know, you may not even hear the birds, but I hear them. Okay, so, but I decided that I would come back on and show you this last row because I want to tell you a few things that you can do. I did make one that was completely square like that, but in case you wanted to do some shaping where you wanted to maybe have it curved, or if you wanted to have it like a bowl effect. So I want to talk to you a little bit about stitches. So let's do an example here. So what I would do is if I want to shape it, I would go small, a little bit larger, large, then do a little bit larger, I'm sorry, a little bit smaller, and then small again. So you'd have a taper, and that's all about knowing your stitches. So a single crochet gives you a little height, a little bit bigger, half double crochet, then double crochet, then treble crochet. So because I've done this in double crochets, and there's my single, I'm going to chain one, which is going to count as my first. I mean, it's not going to this time because I'm going to put a single crochet right there because I want to taper it. I'm going to do a half double. Okay. Now I'm going to look over here, go, that's where my single's going to go. That's where my half double's going to go. So all this across here is going to be double crochet. Just to give it a little bit of a little tapered. Now you don't have to do that. You could just turn your work, go right back across with double crochets, and then even finish with a row of single crochet on top just to give it a, I like it. I think it gives, anytime I finish with a single crochet, it just feels like it gives it a neat edge. Okay, so we have one's going to go here on the top of our chain two. Then this is going to be my half double. So this right here is my last double. All right, so we're going to do a half double, which is yarn over. Start with two because it has the word double. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. I just love the half double. Okay, and then we're going to do a single, end with a single. And so remember, singles start with one. So we're going to go to the top of our chain two, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. And there we go. You see how that just gives it, just gives it a little cute little hat effect. I really think a little bowl effect. And so we're going to cut our yarn, pull it through, and you have done a hat. And now you get to sew in your ends and you get to start embellishing it. And then it's the same principle with all of them. So if you wanted to do some ribbing, like on this one, let's see here. Oh my goodness, I'm just knocking everything around. It's a dark color, so it's hard to tell. But here I did it, I just did my stitches into the back loop. And so you would just put your double crochets in the back loop. Some you can do wider. See, it's just, these are all the exact same stitches, just like what we did here. I just did a little fatter and I did treble crochets on top. So it would have a very open, I did a row of treble and a row of double, row of treble, row of double. These are all the exact same. And then here to give it some shaping, I just did what I said and started with smaller stitches and went to taller stitches there. And I decreased. And so as I went up, I would decrease. And so I'll show you real quick. Oh, I already cut off my yarn. But to decrease, you would double crochet 2 stitches together over 2 loops, over 2 stitches. So you would double crochet these. You would decrease, you would, yes, you would double crochet these 2 together. Or you could do 3 if you really, but it takes basically 2 stitches down to 1 stitch. If you wanted to bump it out and increase, you would put 2 stitches in 1 stitch. So it's very easy. It's a great way to play with crochet and learn so much about it, is to do these, create these hats. And so I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I look forward to seeing your creations, and have fun with this. Make all the hats you want. I mean, it's so much fun. Okay, everyone, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.